Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, exciting. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Rethink your career choices. Believe me, you'll be like, wait a minute, how much? How much are we making? So yeah, that's absolutely a thing. All right, now, why is this important? Because it's not going away, folks. You have an opportunity to get in and learn some things. So now here's the thing. A couple things that we do know is that it's either you're getting the education from and it's hard to say go to regular college, because why? For why come? It's so new. Yes, an engineering degree does help, right? Being a project manager absolutely does help. But here's the typical background for engineering in LLM, or what we call AI. An engineering degree, you have to understand Python or Python Torch. Okay. Generative AI nano degrees are cool too, right? That's the quickest way to get in. What's a nano degree? You ever been to Coursera? There's another one. LinkedIn has some courses as well. I'm gonna tell you one. I'm gonna give you one that I tell everyone about, and it's Udemy or Udemy. Udemy. Udemy is another one. These give you nano degrees. Okay. I know a group of sisters right now, Alicia Little and her sister literally are teaching it and have been teaching it since AI got hot about 2 years ago. I've taken their course, and it offers a certification. And I believe they were one of the first to offer a certification in AI. And I do know that they've absolutely seen an exponential increase in the amount of revenue that they are bringing to the fold in their personal incomes and their business. Product and ethics tracks, typical background. Because see, here's something else you got to remember. Now, you got the engineering side, but you got to have all of the stuff that goes with it. Hey, Ruby Woods. So we're also talking about the fact that when we're discussing AI, there's an ethics portion to it. So somebody's got to be behind what's happening when it comes to ethics. People like me that have a degree in business ethics, this might be something for me to consider. Okay. So MBA or project manager or policy degree, tech literacy, right up my alley. Certificates in responsible AI is a quick fix. You can go to Stanford, MIT. They have a quick fix program and AI PM courses. Research tracks, PhDs in neuroscience and statistics. So statisticians, this would be perfect for you. You can publish and have internships in top labs and end up working in these fields. And then domain specific, like health, finance, because you got to remember, if AI is going to be all of the things, and they're building all of these data centers, which I just found out they're going to be building 2 near where I live. If they're building all of these data centers, you have to segment. You have to. Okay, so are we going to have AI just for pens? Are we going to have AI just for planners? Are we going to have AI just for health and fitness and the cultures? Do you see what I mean? So all of the things. Where do you fit in all of this? So you can take vertical AI courses. You can be one of those that helps to feed it the information. And the way I know that at one point there was actually a company that was wanting African Americans specifically to come in and to literally speak, because at one point it was having a hard time identifying Black English dialect. And we didn't even talk about the fact that just American dialect from different portions of the country can be really, interesting, and it'll have a hard time picking it up, but it's getting better and better and better. All right. You notice one thing I haven't talked about tonight. This administration. Let me tell you why, because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's happening in the world right now that we definitely need to know about. And we are going to talk about it, but I wanted to make sure that we talk about some other things as well, because right now I'm going to tell you something else that I was doing some research on today. And that was, I learned that recruiters are having a hard time getting actual resumes on their desks without being overwhelmed, because AI is getting to the resumes before they do. So for example, I was reading an article today where a recruiter said that they literally are getting 500 resumes where they could easily go through, maybe 100 and just kind of peruse and look at the keywords themselves manually. That's been taken away from them. And that is why we are seeing so many people who literally are not able to find work. And you think that it's you. It is not you at all. It's not you. What's happening is these companies are bringing in AI thinking that they're making things more efficient, when in reality, they're doing just the opposite. And they're making it harder for people. First of all, we're talking about federal employees that have been on their job 20, 30 years, getting ready to retire. They're back in the workforce, okay? They're still receiving unemployment benefits, and they probably got that lump sum. And then once the lump sum is gone, then they'll get those unemployment benefits. And then they'll be in the workforce if they are not already. I have several friends that decided to take the payout, and they are living the life of Riley. But when the money is gone, because see, they're still getting paid up until I think September of this year. So they're just out there just doing whatever, right? So keep that in mind. I mean, even if you think about how they've made everything online now, and when you need to actually, yeah. Hey, Shalonda, how are you? Come on in the room. Call someone as possible. You can. But the issue is, and this is coming from someone who has, for the past couple years, I still job hunt. I still, every once in a while, I send out a resume or two or whatever, right? I remember when I first got laid off, I was doing it like back to back to back to back and got nowhere quickly. I didn't understand that something had changed in the quote unquote atmosphere. And it was kind of like, thank you so much for that, Shalonda. So things have changed. And I kept thinking, what is going on? Well, it's number one, technology. AI has taken over. And the way that things are currently right now, a lot of people are just agreeing that technology sometimes it does make it more difficult. It is ridiculous out here. It really is. So it's not you. So what do you do in the meantime? You better get like your big mama Nam, and you better get you a side hustle. No, and it wasn't meant to be that way. It was supposed to be a help. But what it looks like it is, Lucy, is it's literally a hindrance for a lot of people who are looking for ways to get back into the workforce. That's why I brought up AI, because if you can take those courses, if you can show currently, if you're working right now, how you can use AI to make your job better, not to replace you, then ultimately you've put yourself in a better position. I know some people that use AI don't tell folks they're using it. They just taking the credit. I know. Yeah, that would be ideal. It would, Lucy. It absolutely would. So let's talk about the Trump administration getting ready to cut 2,100 people from NASA. Y'all hear about that? They're making cuts. Y'all knew I was going to go here. Sit down. NASA is preparing for a crisis of over 2,000 employees. I know. 2,000 employees. Hey, Craig, how are you? Welcome to the Brownstone. Donald Trump's cost-cutting spree. Exactly. Shalonda said it best. Sad. That's what they voted for. Yep. Donald Trump's cost-cutting spree continues as his administration is preparing to let go of 2,145 NASA staff members. Now, according to reports, the layoffs include exactly. See, Sable 321 just said it. I was getting ready to go there, but let's talk about it just a little bit because people think that it's just about rocket ships, and it's not. So, according to reports, the layoffs include several senior members whose invaluable experiences was a boom for the space agency. A total of 2,145 employees will reportedly be asked to leave. This includes those in senior level government ranks. The method of cutting them out would include early retirement, buyouts, and deferred resignations. Of the total number, 1,818 of these NASA staff members work in core mission areas like science and human space flight. All of the others in the list are in support roles, such as information technology. This has left several people questioning the current administration and how it would affect NASA in view of the upcoming space missions. Okay, so the question is, They've already announced, and this is the Trump administration, they've already announced proposed budget cuts for 2026 for NASA, hitting dozens of science programs, folks, and missions. Now, the one most likely to suffer would be the Artemis mission that plans to land humans on the moon. Hey, Yvonne, how are you? Yes, wealthy. The Planetary Society feared at the time that this would mean massive layoffs, a fear that could soon come true. To avert a potential disaster, the group has supporters sign a letter which was sent to the White House asking them not to go ahead with the budget cuts, but we know how that went, right? Okay. It also turned to social media to save the day for NASA. The society wrote on X, this would be nothing short of an extinction level event for NASA's science and exploration. Losing that money that fast would force NASA to make so many terrible decisions. And where is that actually going to leave the US when it comes to NASA? Because we're not, like you said, Clear Lake and League City. We're talking about NASA, which is, aren't they in Houston? They're in Houston. Of course, they have locations all over. They're gonna lose some people. So former chiefs of NASA's Science Mission Directorate warned last week that is NASA's budgets are cut, it could put China in the pole position in space missions alone. Nothing else, just that. 7 of them also signed a joint letter calling out the White House proposed 47% budget cuts. The letter states, quote, the economics of these proposed cuts ignore a fundamental truth. Investments in NASA science have been and are a powerful driver of the U.S. economy and technological leadership. So now, the question that I have is what is the point of cutting NASA? Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any answers? Why would we cut such a program? But then if we're going to ask that question, then the other question should be, why did we cut and take the word of an individual who brought in Sable, Elon? Well, I mean, but aren't they sparring right now? Aren't they sparring? So then the question, they're not sparring right now? Hey, Gary Knox, how are you? Hey, Beverly, how are you? So I don't think that Elon is the issue. Because right now, he ready to spill the beans. He tap dancing on it real quick. Why is it so big if they don't have their own spaceships? Joe, who, China or the US? That's a question that I have. So these budget cuts, the question is, so what happens to all of those people? Because it's affecting senior staff. It's going to be a 32% reduction in their staff. And these are senior employees. These are your decision makers in all of the things. Because NASA is not just about spaceships. It's also about research. Hey, Miss T, how are you? Come on in. Welcome to the neighborhood if you're new here. I just wanted to kind of let you know, if you are here, if you are watching, I'm Paulette, and you're watching Brownstone Worldwide. This is the night shift. We got some of our folks, our loving people in the neighborhood that are here with us as well. So big shout out to them for watching us wherever you are. You can also catch us on Substack. You think Elon was the target, but now he is on the out. So maybe this is a payment to Bezos. You know what? JR, you might be on to something, because didn't we just talk about the fact that Jeff Bezos just sold some more of his stock at $666 million? And then earlier this year, he sold over $700 and something million worth of stock so he could fund his own Blue Origin space program, right? So maybe if they're cutting over here, that'll give him an opportunity to do what? I thought about that when I was reading it, like maybe they had something to do with it. Maybe. You watch my news coverage. It's the only way you get your Miss T. Are you serious? Oh, that just warms my heart. Well, welcome to the neighborhood. And I'm dead serious. Did y'all see what I did today? I did the news in the refrigerator. $1.4 billion in his pocket. And remember what he did to Washington Post. Yes. Yes, the Brownstone. Yes. So welcome to the Brownstone. You are officially a neighbor. We're going to be talking about how you can become one of the people in the neighborhood a little bit later on. Now, tonight, if this is your first time watching us, we are literally going to be going over 2 senators per night. Hey, Lisa Bob, come on in this room. Hey, Sean, happy Thursday to you as well. I hope you all are getting ready to wind down, especially if you are in the East Coast. On the East Coast, it's 10 o'clock here. And I took an unexpected nap. I was looking at the back of my eyelids, like I like to say, watching a documentary on Vogue magazine. So for those of you all who don't know, I own Brownstone Living magazine, and I'm always looking for ways to do better, be better, especially with this beautiful, beautiful cover. We got this beautiful man on the cover, y'all, that plays the guitar. And he is holding 2 guitars, and I can't make up my mind. So we're literally like behind. So we weren't going to do a July because we're planning for the rest of the year. And then someone was like, nope, you got to, let's go ahead and put him out there. So we got the rest of the year, and we're already planning for 2026 all the way up until July of next year and what that's going to look like. And so I'm constantly looking for more ideas on how to make it better and how to serve you, the people in the neighborhood. Thank you so much for that, Miss T. We appreciate you. Hey, Joyce, how are you? Welcome, welcome. And of course, Peanut Borden, I love providing the information. Somebody told me once, and I hope this sucker is watching. He said, you talk too much. You should write a book. I don't want to write a book. So I started opening my mouth. This was when I was in my 20s. I was dating this person. And I was like, I talk too much. Whatever do you mean? Okay, you just did me a favor, bro. So I ended up in radio. Oh, yes, the business. Yeah, so that's what we're working on right now. So anyway, they're offering employees various options to leave the agency, and that's in NASA as well. Now, why he's doing it? Let's take a look. They're continuing its phased approach to streamline the workforce currently and reduce its overall headcount. But the problem is what is that going to do in terms of who we are on the leading edge of technology and not only space research, but NASA also does Earth research, right? So what does that look like for us? Because right now, that will put China in the lead. And they're in the lead on a whole bunch of stuff right now, aren't they? Thought so. All right, moving on. Y'all know how I do around here. I wanted to make sure that we covered a couple of other things as well. Before we move on, make sure I don't think he's a good explorer, innovator. He gets other people to do his bad. It's not it to do his stuff, to do his bid. It's not him. And some of this, let me also say this. One of the other things that is really, really sad is the fact that they want to do it. It's what they've always wanted to do anyway. Does that make sense? So yeah, they're going to be a part of what he's doing. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. See, we're not going to go down this road because I'm trying to keep my feelings out of it. Anything that begins has an ending. The only thing that is eternal is who you are on the inside. Because when you leave this physical body, you keep on. You don't fade to black. Okay? So anything that you start ends, period. And it phases into something else, right? So it doesn't necessarily end. It becomes something else. And so if you ever thought that this is going to stay like this, remember a couple things that we say here in the Brownstone. We still the people. Okay? All right. Now, let's move on. And we're going to start talking about our 2 senators. Okay? What we've been doing, guys, is we've been talking about senators. There are 100 senators and there are 435 House of Representatives. Why is this important to you guys? Because the midterm elections are coming. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're nonpartisan. I don't care if you're independent, liberal. I don't care if you Democrat. It doesn't matter to me. What you are first is an American citizen. If you are American, if you are not, and you're watching from other portions of the world, welcome to the Brownstone. Why is this important to us? Because if you're Republican, Democrat, whomever you are, at the end of the day, you need to know who you are voting for. The only way that you're going to stop what is currently happening within the Senate and the House is you've got to identify who these people are, You have to find out what their campaign is, and you also have to find out who greased their palms. Hey, Esteban, how are you? Why do you care? Why should you? Because these people got in office and forgot we put them there. Because if that's the case, the PACs and the super PACs are controlling who gets in office. Let's break that down. So last night, we did some research together on this live last night. And we wanted to know what was a PAC and a super PAC. Why is that important? Because you need to know, if this is the first time that you've been here, we're going to do it again. Just for ish and giggles. Okay? First thing, a PAC is a political action committee. Simplest of terms, they call it a PAC. So when you hear it, you won't be like, and in your mind going, Lord have mercy, I don't even know what they're talking about. Now you know. Now, a super PAC, there is also a political committee. A PAC, just a simple PAC, can only donate $5,000 to a campaign. A super PAC is unlimited. Make sense so far? That's as simple as I can make it. They can spend as much money, millions, if they want to. And what's happening is that these super PACs, because they're super PACs, based on their filing and how they file themselves before they start donating funds, they go out and they find a candidate that is after their best interests at heart, and they start putting money into their campaign to help them win. These funds are not for them to live on. It is for them to campaign with, which means advertising, marketing, radio spots, television spots, CCTV, social media, and so many different ways, like the flyers that you get in the mail and stuff like that. That's what these super PACs and these PACs are designed for. However, what we have learned over the past couple of days doing the night shift here is we have discovered that these super PACs are literally not constituents like you or I. They are businesses with their own business interests at heart. Some of those PACs and super PACs are ExxonMobil, Chevron. Sound familiar? And just a few others that I can't at the top of my head, but I'm about to go through this list. And we're going to go through these tonight. If I were you, and I've always told everybody this, grab your pen and your paper, because when you leave here tonight, you will feel like you went to school just a little bit. See, this is the stuff that they didn't teach us in high school, but you should absolutely know. What I'm going to encourage you guys to do is grab you something to drink. I got my little water. Praise the Lord, saints. That was wonderful. I'm thirsty. And on top of that, what I want you to do is get something to write with, something to write on, and we need to go ahead and get started. Okay. First things first, who have we covered so far? We have covered, because we're starting with the letter A. Hi, Diane Taylor. How are you? First things first, we started with Alabama. Barrymore. No, that's the House of Representatives. Okay. United States Senators. We started with Alabama. Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville. We found out who they were and what their campaign was a couple days ago. Day before yesterday, we did Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan of Alaska. They're both Republican. Arizona yesterday, Mark Kelly, Democrats, and Ruben Gallego, also Democrats. J.R. Bird said, I have been saying that the best use of African-American political dollars to create a super PAC. Yep, we absolutely should. The NAACP should have one. See, because then some folks would have our best interests at heart, right? Okay, so let me tell y'all what we found out last night. For those of you all who were here last night, don't just sit. Remember, tell people to sit down, because this is going to blow your mind. We learned that these two Democratic senators took money from MAGA super PACs. Why would they do that? Y'all don't have questions? You're not curious? Yeah, we found that out. Terry Dam said, damn, what? No, I'm just saying. But like, really, yes. That's what we found out last night. Mark Kelly took money from a MAGA super PAC, and it doesn't look like Ruben did, but Ruben took money from a lot of Latin super PACs and PACs. Okay. Not one of them took money from APAC though. And no, so now APAC is the pro-Israel super PAC. Lint Liquor said it best. Hey, Lint Liquor, haven't seen you. Did I see you yesterday? Well, good to see you regardless. But yes, maybe they aren't truly democratic. Let me go ahead and sip on this water just a little bit. A couple of us actually said that yesterday. All right, now tonight we're talking about the state of Arkansas. Both of them are Republican, John Boozman and Tom Cotton. John Boozman looks like he's on his third term. Tom Cotton is on his second. Here's my question and my concern. I don't care how y'all feel about certain folks. It's time for some people to go. There it is. So let's get right into these two individuals from the state of Arkansas. Grab your pen, grab your paper. Yes, I said what I said, and I meant every word of it, because I am literally watching these people pull stuff that's not necessary, and it's not helping the American people. It's not helping. Yeah, you're right. Sable 32 said a whole lot of them need to go. That's right. That's right. But the only way that you're going to know is to do the research. All right. Senator Mark Kelly from the state of, no, we did him yesterday, right? Okay. Arkansas senators. Here we go. Here's what they campaigned on, the both of them. Let me close this out. Here we go. Senator John Boozman, Republican, Class 3, elected in 2022. Hang on just a minute. TikTok always makes me do this when I get to an hour. All right. Senator John Boozman, what they campaigned on. Now, here's what he campaigned on. You ready? Economic inflation and, quote, energy independence, veterans care and rural health. Arkansas is very rural. I spent 13 years of my life there. Farm bill certainty for growers as ranking member on the Agricultural Committee, or the AG Committee. Border security and finish the wall, and Second Amendment and pro-life pledges. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. All right now. Senator Tom Cotton, hardline immigration agenda. He was a part of the RAISE Act and building the wall. Beat China strategy. What? Decoupling critical supply chains. U.S. mining and defense manufacturing, wants to bring that back. Hawkish national security posture, tough on crime and censorship. 2024 stump themes. Now, in the last election, Senator Tom Boozman of Arkansas, Republican, spent $2,176,786 for Boozman. Tom Cotton only spent $15,540 in independent expenditures. Major super PAC help. Senate Leadership Fund. Are we surprised? Because it looks like that the Republicans really dig into that, right? So GOP Senate super PAC chaired by allies of Mitch McConnell. Mission is to maintain and expand the Republican majority. It poured the bulk of the pro-Boozman $2.2 million into his campaign. And the Senate Leadership Fund raised over $85 million. So super PAC, Lucy, super PAC, just real quick so we're clear. Super PAC basically means that it's a group of businesses or constituents who get together and they can create what's called a super PAC, so they can spend unlimited amounts of money on campaigns. Hey, Kayshawn, welcome, welcome. With a regular PAC, they can only donate $5,000. So when you hear the term super PAC, that's what that means. Unlimited amounts. And you notice a lot of people are saying we need to get rid of super PACs. This is why. Because these super PACs get together and they're run by major corporations and they don't have your best interest at heart. So this doesn't surprise me. So for Senator John Boozman, one of the PACs that donated to them, and this is a corporate PAC, is Tyson Foods. Because see, Tyson is in Arkansas. We need, yeah, like abbreviation. Yeah. Hey, Sierra, come on in. Yep, Big Pharma, corporate America, correct. So Tyson Foods, a corporate PAC representing executives, employees of the nation's second largest meat packer, lobbies on farm bill, food safety, labor, and trade. He took APAC money. He did. Grassroots pro-Israel network claiming $5 million in U.S. supporters. And they are bipartisan. So they're both, and bi meaning two, they're both Democrat and Republican. So APAC has donated to over 300 of the House representatives, people in Congress, over 300. Let that sink in. Oh, super means they're a big political action committee. Yeah, super PAC, because that's basically what it means. They have unlimited. Okay, Sean. Sierra, wait a minute. Let's go ahead. See, let's finish this up and then let's start talking about that. Okay, let's do that. I think that would be best because we're almost done. We're almost done with that part. We're almost done. Okay. Yeah. You know what, Lint Liquor? I'm not so sure about that. Lint Liquor says that we need a new party. Do we really? Yeah, JBS is a meatpacking company. Yep. And they've been in a lot of trouble. Yeah, no problem, Lucy Dreamer, because if you're asking those questions, I might have gone too fast, and you guys definitely need to know. That's what we're here for, is to continue to answer those questions and learn together. They need to be rejuvenated. We need to try to stop the super PACs. See, Kayshawn just said it. She just came in the room. We tried to stop the super PACs in the late 80s, in the early 90s. Ross Perot tried to. Yep. Hey, Lala, come on in the room. Yep. Because super PACs can do what they want. They can just dump as much money as they want to in it. I got a problem with that because you're not thinking about the people. You're just doing what the heck you want to do. All right, so let's see. The Lincoln okay, so let's go back over here. Insurance and financial services. Cotton raised. Here we go. I'm scrolling back up. So Tom Cotton raised money from pro-Israel PACs, so APAC affiliates and NORPAC. Insurance and financial services PACs, $225,000. They have the funds to buy whatever and whoever they want, which is exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Yep. NRA, of course, we knew that. Gun rights PAC. Rates and funds candidates. Gun control legislation. That is why we still keep seeing the voting about gun control get knocked down. Insurance as well. Yes, Sable 321. Because these people are greasing their palms and helping to get them in office. Well, how are they getting them in the office then, Paulette? It's called advertising and marketing. We want to talk about it again? I'd be happy to, because I need y'all to hear me. When I started school, my MBA, for any of you all who do not know, is in advertising and marketing. Not my bachelor's, my MBA. Not only that, but I have spent years, well over 30 years, in community relations, public relations, and city government, city and local government. I've also worked for some of the largest multi-billion-dollar corporations in their community and civic engagements and public relations with my MBA. What I'm getting ready to tell you, I have already said before, but I need you all to hear me. And sometimes I have to throw the credentials out there, not to brag, so that maybe you'll take me seriously. My professor in my very first class in my MBA program told me one thing. Before he said anything, he put his books down and he said, Johnny Q. Public is stupid. Why do I bring that up to you? Hey, Sashida, good morning. How are you? Where are you watching from? Or good evening, rather. Where are you watching from? So he said that, and I'm telling you that because this is what marketers think of you and think of people, not just American people, but of people. He backed that up by saying, if you tell somebody something long enough, they'll believe it. Why is that? So Middletown, New York. All right, New York in the building. Come on. Yes. Welcome to the Brownstone. If you tell somebody something long enough, you'll believe it. One of the rules of thumb when I was in radio, you had to say the call letters of your station by law. You had to say it at the top of the hour. Yep, exactly. It's true. It's facts. Over and over and over. We keep hearing about Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, and repeat it over and over and over to the point where people actually believe him. But if you dig through it long enough, you'll actually find the truth. That's why it's so important for you to find reputable sources who do the research. That's what journalism is. It's not a copy paste. Now, sometimes I will read y'all the news that comes from Brownstone Worldwide, but we have a group of folks that literally do that. They dig and they dig and they dig, and then they redo and redo and redo. Okay, look into Patty Hartman, a 17-year-old DOJ veteran who was retaliated against by Pam Bondi and fired. I surely will, Sierra. Inbox me that if you can. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Celsa. And you do it so well. Oh, thank you. Your superpower is research. Yes, Kayshawn is the researcher. We just gonna start giving people superhero names. The researcher. Okay, so I'm telling y'all this because I want you all to understand I know what I'm talking about. This is what I've done. This is where I've worked in this field for years. And it's true. If you repeat something long enough, you'll believe it. And it's only a few people that understand how that works. That's how come if you post content long enough, people will begin to find you. You know what that's called? TOMA. Write that down. TOMA. TOMA. Top of mind awareness. I didn't say truthful TOMA. I said top of mind awareness only. It doesn't have to be true. All I have to do is feed it to you over and over and over and over again. Some of us call it, TOMA. Didn't even realize what the definition was. Do it all my life. Yes, you do. Just like the abuser. Yep, correct. If you do it over and over and over and over and over again, that's what you're going to come out with, is whatever they want you to believe. So there's a group of people that are literally planning and creating exactly how you are going to receive and accept the news, the information, and how everything is done. Hence, one of the reasons why you may have noticed Fox News has changed, CNN has changed. Fox News has always been a little, they said they're an entertainment company, honey. And they not even worried about giving you accurate information. They here to entertain you. So remember that. TOMA is top of mind awareness, and it doesn't have to be true. You only get Brownstone. Okay, come through. I received that. Thank you so much, Miss T. We do try to do as much as we can to get you accurate information. So big shout out to those who write for us. Big shout out to Teresa Pelham. Big shout out to Heather Asanyabi. Big shout out to Mr. J.R. Bird if he is still here. Those are the folks that we rock with. Okay? So I don't do this by myself, folks. I just happen to be the face. That's it. And this is important information. I need y'all to understand. So when these PACs and these super PACs are sending you, thank you so much for that, Pam Scott. Hey, Blackwell, how are you? CNN is all about the money anymore. Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about that briefly, shall we? It takes money to do what I do. It takes a lot of cash. a lot. Because I got people I have to pay. It costs money to get that magazine done and to have it ready for the print ready version and the digital version. I have a team that is designing the magazine for the next 2 months right now as we speak. Okay. And I can peek in and I can see what they're doing. I have a team that literally works for me because one of our clients is a local municipality. They have to eat. So when we ask for money or we're saying that we have these programs and so forth, it costs money for us to be free to do the things that we need to do. And it is not cheap. It is not cheap because people need to eat or they're going to go somewhere else, right? And I understand that I can't do this by myself. So therein lies that. But advertisers is one, affiliate programs is another, UGC creation is another, influencer creation is another, right? You can tell well-educated, well-informed, you know what you're talking about. You know it well. Yeah, I had no choice. I had no choice because I was either going to run it or somebody was going to run me. And that's real talk. So getting back to the PACs and the super PACs and why I brought up what I just did, so you'll understand. Why do you need to understand? So that you'll know when it's happening to you and you can remain in control. Okay? Start looking in your mailbox because the midterms are coming and they know that you know. And so they're going to try their best to keep you inundated with what's wrong and what they can do right. All you got to do is go and do the research yourself. You don't have to know all of the things, but I recognize that Brownstone Worldwide is worldwide, and I need to go through all of the senators. But you need to know too, it's time to start holding these people accountable for what has happened. But in the same token, let me also put this out here, folks, and you ain't gonna like it, you can leave it anytime. We need to hold ourselves accountable for what has happened because we fell asleep. We fell asleep. We wanted somebody else at the driver's seat, and we forgot that we are still the people. Period. So this is how we take that back. They are hoping that Johnny Q. Public stays stupid. In a coma, just dead, knocked out, just mouth open, slob on the side of your mouth, just out. It's got to stop. So I take responsibility for the fact that I went to sleep. Exactly. Used to just take what they gave. If they said that they were running for the 15th time, I was all right with it because guess what? I don't even have to think because you know what? It hasn't impacted me. So we're going to put you back in office. Let me go ahead and vote. Because I recognize your name. I don't have to research you. I don't even know who the other person is. And they might be the best person for the job. But because I recognize that name and they sent enough stuff in the mail and they did enough advertisement and they did enough interviews and they did all the things. Let me explain something to y'all. During the political season, radio stations are inundated with dollars that these politicians have to go on their air and talk to you. They got the money from where? Their PACs and their super PACs. Your mailbox, your front door, you'll get door hangers and door knockers, and they'll be in your parades. Ain't seen them in nobody parade. They'll be at your church in the front row, and then the pastor have them come up and talk to you. Right? Follow the money. Miss T said it right. It is so important for us to understand that we are still the people. And these midterms are so important with everything that's going on. It's a bunch of us that's not going out in the streets and marching. I'm not. But I know where I can do my best work. And that's right here talking to you and hoping that you'll share this information, if not live, but sometime later and say, y'all, you know what we need to do? We need to go on ahead and learn more about who's greasing whose palm. I said it best. It's just like when you get into a relationship and you think you're in a relationship and he paying for everything and so forth, and you haven't put out, and then all of a sudden everything that looks good is not shiny anymore because now they're ready for you to put up. This is the same thing. ExxonMobil wants to be able to do more drilling. So they put money into the pockets of the senators in Alaska. So when the time comes and the legislation comes to stop some of the drilling on sacred lands, you can't block it. You're going to vote for it because you took all of the millions of dollars. Follow the money. Follow the money. This is not about who's right or who's wrong. Get educated and make sure that you know before you go to the polls, and don't not vote. That's what they do when they're paying to play. They also did, yeah, they did. They just had an oil not too long ago. I don't know how long ago it's been, but they did have an oil spill. So we're talking about how what they want to do is impacting our natural reserves and sacred land. Anyway, so Boozman for Arkansas received roughly $1.3 million in PAC checks, 17% of his $7.7 million haul. His leading PAC givers, once again, the American Farm Bureau. That's a federal PAC. It's an agricultural policy powerhouse. They gave him 15 grand. APAC gave him $10,000. So when they get ready, and APAC is all over the Oval Office and so forth, all in DC. If APAC says we need you to vote on XYZ so we can get more missiles sent to Israel, you better vote. Besides, we gave you a free trip to Israel. Ooh. There you go. Agribusiness, trucking, and pharmaceutical PACs are actually on his top 20 list. Where do I get this information? I'm going to tell you where. Open Secrets. You can go there yourself. I just compiled the list. Now, let's talk about what these groups stand for. Some of the PACs that we just talked about. When we're talking about Boozman, Senator Boozman from Arkansas, who is a Republican, the Senate Leadership Fund, big donor super PAC, dedicated to electing Republicans to the Senate, funded by billionaires such as Ken Griffin and Miriam Adelson, unlimited. Remember I said that about a super PAC, independent expenditure only. Eli Lilly Pharmaceuticals, Tyson Foods, corporate PAC representing executives, employees of the nation's second largest meat packer, lobbies on farm bill, food safety, labor, and trade. APAC, once again. And then over on the right, Tom Cotton. But see, Tom Cotton, he been around. He don't even need that much money. You know why? Because he know that you're not going to do the research, Arkansas. That's how he continues to keep getting in office. And guess what, folks? I know the man personally. I used to live in Arkansas and I worked in politics on the PR side. Truth is, they used to call me Olivia Pope. No, I wasn't. But I knew how to fix stuff. Yep. I just told y'all PR was my thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I worked in politics too. Hey, Blackwell Carnell, if I didn't say it, what is it? What? Okay. All right. Major Super PAC, Senate Leadership Fund. We talked about that one. And we also talked about Boozman's money is dominated by corporate and trade PACs, Tyson, poultry processors, trucking, and by national GOP Super PAC cash. Grassroots ideological giving is comparatively small. Now, here's the key takeaways from all of this, right? Boozman's 2022 win was under the radar nationally, but drew real super PAC money once a Trump-aligned primary challenger emerged. Hey, Carolyn, how are you? General Dynamics, yes. I didn't go through the whole list, and I apologize for that, but thank you so much. GD, which is in Arkansas. The McConnell-aligned SLF stepped in with 7-figure ads. Agribusiness PACs hedged their bets to keep the Agriculture Committee's top Republican in office. So how do you become a super PAC? You get all your buddies together and you have to file. So let's look it up, shall we? I thought you needed me. Okay. So this is what you got to do to become a super PAC. You have to register with the FEC. I mentioned that briefly yesterday, but you have to report. Yep, and the lobbyists. Ooh, child. See, we ain't even got that far. Gentech and Nestle as well, which are all in Arkansas. Yes. How many buddies do we need to get together to form a super PAC? So let's talk about that. To establish a super PAC, independent expenditure only committee, you must first register with the Federal Election Committee or the FEC within 10 days of exceeding $1,000 in contributions or expenditures. This involves filing a statement of organization in FEC Form 1, clarifying the intent and function as a super PAC. Additionally, you'll need to obtain an EIN. Y'all know that's free and easy. Don't believe these people that's out here telling y'all got to pay to get your EIN. Okay, Koch brothers off from the IRS and notify them of the super PAC's tax exempt status as a political organization by filing Form 8871. Currently, the current tax exempt status is 501c4. We know that the IRS just said that you can be, Ms. T said, let's get started. Don't start now, won't be none. All the mega churches, yes. So let's talk about that. The IRS yesterday, it came out that they said that churches can now, or excuse me, religious organizations can now donate and support. You right here all the time, all day, any day. Okay. So detailed breakdown, register with the FEC, obtain your EIN and notify the IRS by filing 8871. That's the form. Political organization notice of section 527 status, notifying the IRS of the super PAC's tax exempt status of 501c4. Filing must be done 24 hours of the organization's establishment. And after you started bringing in expenditures of $1,000. Exactly, Lint Liquor says. So much for the separation of church and state. Here's another couple of considerations. Super PACs can raise unlimited funds from individuals. That's us. That's the constituents, corporations, and other groups, but cannot donate directly to candidates or engage in coordinated spending. In other words, we can't tell you what to do with it. You know how to work, and I know how to work it. Okay. Miss T says she ready, y'all. Super PACs can engage in independent expenditures, meaning they can spend money to support or oppose candidates as long as they don't coordinate it. So they can't get into the mix of it, right? So that's just a simple breakdown of what it is and how to become a super PAC. So in other words, I'm about to lay in this flow. Because now, Miss T, I hope J.R. Bird is still here. J.R. Bird, maybe we don't need to wait on the NAACP, bro. Maybe we don't. I'm just saying. We can just go ahead and just do it ourselves. Okay? I'm actually looking at the design for August. That's why I stay up all night. Okay. Now, PACs, super PACs. That's what we learned tonight. We went over a couple of the PACs and super PACs for the senators from the state of Arkansas. John King has one. Let me sip my water. So you are still here. That's good. Excellent. So Miss T says she ready. She said, let's go ahead and start a super PAC. We can start a super PAC. Okay. Might be something to consider because you just mentioned it earlier. And guess what, folks? It's not even hard, is it, to get in the game? Now, here's something that I hear a lot in the Black community. And now, mind you, y'all, remember, Brownstone Worldwide is for everybody. You're stating that the NAACP and other organizations need to move in that direction in order to fully sway politicians. We don't have any real lobbyists. You are correct. We won't have nobody lobbying for us. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. We got a deadline we're trying to meet before it goes to print. Okay, so let's talk about, yep, correct. Billionaires and millionaires have lawyers on retainers 24/7. Yeah, but a bunch of us know some attorneys too. Let's talk about lobbyists because Kayshawn brought it up. So we definitely want to make sure that we talk about it. So now lobbyists are people that are hired to influence the government. It sounds like exactly what it is. Okay? But let's dig into it just a little bit deeper, right? It can be anybody that's hired directly by organizations or through lobbying firms. Lobbying can be done by any organization such as advocacy groups, trade associations, or corporations. No, we do not. If I was in there, they would have to throw you out. Right. Okay. Many lobbyists have prior experience in government, particularly in legislative roles, which helps them build relationships and policymakers. So ultimately, you have to be able to influence. Go in there and grease some palms, talk to some people, walk and sway like this and make them feel good. Communicate interest. They can convey the positions of their clients to lawmakers, explaining how proposed legislations or regulations might affect them. So how about if I were an ExxonMobil or if I were a Walmart or somewhat of something like that, I can literally go out and hire a lobbying firm to get somebody in position for me to go down there and lobby on behalf of my corporation and what we stand for after we've greased enough palms over here. And after we have our attorneys that understand policy and the political landscape. Does that make sense? So this is an entire machine. And this is what they do. Could be, Miss T. Could be. So really what we're talking about is a whole, hey, Paulette Nix, how are you? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. This could be a big monster and it would take a ton of cash. Yes, they did. Thank you so much. Kayshawn said, remember, Auntie, a lot of the lobbyists used to be federal employees. This is why they don't want us educated. Correct, Sable 321. And I hope that you all are paying attention, if nothing else, except for you to understand exactly how this works. This is a machine. It's like a well-oiled, yeah, you didn't know that? They may work with other groups, build support for or against a specific legislation. So they're going out and they're having lunch with people and they're going to the meetings and they're speaking and they're doing all of the things and helping to draft legislation. So they're putting all of this stuff in position. And then they're also helping to put the ideas into the heads of the people that are sitting. Super PACs is really the way that politicians can be paid from the lobbyist side. If a lobbyist gives money, it is a bribe. If the super PAC spends, it is First Amendment. Correct. Thank you, J.R. Bird. Okay, Lint Liquor, thank you so much. You got to get ready for work. Be safe out there. Work hard and don't let them stress you out too much. Hey, Brittany. Good to see you this evening. Now, what lobbyists can't do is raise money. Okay? That's the one thing they can't do. Okay. It is legal because it's under First Amendment protection. For those of you all who are not aware, having lobbyists that are quote unquote in the DC area and so forth is seen as a way for people to have their voices heard, especially in special interest groups, if you didn't know that. Okay. The problem with this is that it's the influence of the money, because if you don't have money, you're not going to hire, you don't have the money to hire a lobbyist to go out there and be your voice. Miss T, you said it better than I could. She said, that sounds like corruption. It could be, especially if these businesses are not doing things in your best interest, because these are businesses that are hiring these lobbyists and former federal employees. Hey, Janine Thurman, I hope I said your name right. Now, there are some revolving door concerns, and it's a phenomenon that actually I'm reading this here. It says here there are concerns about the movement of individuals between government positions and lobbying roles, and that can actually create a conflict of interest. Makes sense to me. I think that there should be a move for greater transparency on what who the lobbyists are actually working for, because sometimes you may not know. And guys, even though you went to school and you learned the basics about, the 3 branches of government, or basically the 4, this is still good information for us to know. Because again, and I'm going to say it again, this is information they don't want us to know. They hope we never find out. I think we need to do I think it is interesting that many politicians, like the majority leader, have super PACs. You mean Mitch McConnell? That's when you're talking about J.R. Bird. The SLF. I have a wood table, y'all. Why do I not use a coaster like the old folks used to do? Table just toe up. I put a doily down. I don't understand me. Yeah. So lobbying generally refers to seeking to influence the government through written or oral communication. There are whole lobbying offices. I'm sitting back and I'm thinking about the times that I've been in and I never paid attention, because you're not paying attention, because I'm worried about this side of being the person that's going to help you get a good name and get you booked to go and talk to this church or that church and get you to go around and knock on doors. How do we find out about the lobbying process? Who are they working for? Well, let's dig deep, because now y'all sound like y'all really, yes, and Mike Johnson, but also Schumer. This is actually how they get people to get in line for votes. That's exactly how. Thank you for that, for Schumer. Yep. But see, here's the thing though, JR, to your question, and here's a question for everyone here. So JR asked the question, hey, Derek Glassby, how are you? So he asked the question of how is it that these politicians have super PACs? I don't think I read nowhere where it said that even if you are a politician, you can't have one. You got to run. It was good seeing you. Thank you for the info as always. Of course, Lucy Dreamer. Thank you so much for being a neighbor. We appreciate you. Oh, this is getting deep. Here's what we're going to do. How do we find out? Let me write that down. Let's come back and talk about it. I'm writing it down. What's the process, right? I received that, especially after the crappy day I had today. It rained. Yep. I had to take my car to the shop. She's in the shop. The Lobbying Disclosure Act of 1995, and it was amended in 2007. Come on, sir. Let's write it down. The Lobbying Disclosure Act. See, I don't know all the things. I know what I know. of 1995, amended 2007. I just heard that the IRS will sue, and now they can have a political candidate. Who? I think I misunderstood that. All right, so first things first, let's ask that first question. How to lobby. Why don't we just find out right now? I'm not going to wait. What's the process? The clerk of the House and the secretary of the Senate have lists of the lobbyists and who they represent. Ooh, this is getting deep. Now, see, JR, you just put some more into the mix that we need to know. But guess what, folks? We need to know. Period. Let me screenshot that. Nope, I'm not going to screenshot it. Let me go ahead and put that. Clerk of House. I think brother, come on with it. Let's go. Let's go. So, a couple things that we learned tonight. You meant to sue? Okay, the lobbyists, listen closely, folks. If you don't have a pen, get this and write this down, or the Lobbying Disclosure Act of 1995. So let's look it up. Okay. Because I got time tonight. I took that nap. If y'all got to go to bed, I get it. I understand. Oh, excuse me. Hey, Craig, how are you? Good to see you, sir. Lobbying Disclosure Act of 1995 was a legislation in the United States aimed at bringing increased accountability to federal, hey, Mary, how are you? To federal lobbying practices in the U.S. Good. I'm glad that you're doing well. Hey, Yoel, the law was amended substantially by the Honest Leadership and Open Government Act of 2007 under provisions. That's Ross Perot tried to bring it. Under provisions which took effect on January 1st, 1996, federal lobbyists are required to register with the clerk of the United States of Representatives and the secretary of the United States Senate, just like J.R. Bird said. Anyone failing to do so is punishable by a civil fine of up to $50,000. The clerk and secretary must refer any acts of noncompliance to the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Now, it was passed, and the Federal Regulation of Lobbying Act was the only act that regulated lobbying. Federal regulation of lobbying was considered ineffective in achieving its objective, and the FRLA was considered ineffective due to its vagueness. And if I'm not mistaken, I do remember when this happened. Very, very vague. But let's see. Hey, Paul, how are you? But this is what I want to know. This is what I want to know. And that's cool. And I appreciate you for giving me. Here we go. It's to enhance transparency. So basically require lobbyists to register with the federal government, mandates disclosure of lobbying activities and expenditures, defines who qualifies as a lobbyist based on specific criteria, establishes reporting requirements for lobbying firms and organizations. With that hefty fine, how was it ineffective? Because they probably have those folks that are behind them backing them up. So if they ever needed to pay the fine, it could be paid. I'm just tossing stuff out there. Maybe I'm incorrect. Okay. So that's first. The other question that we had was, how do you become a lobbyist? What's the process? So, hey, Suzanne. I'm naive too. That's okay. Hey, Bailey, how are you? Hey, Padilly Lily, Pat Lily 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love that. This is what opened the biggest can of worms and why we have so much corporate money in the political game. Oh, he done gave us a whole. See, you must be a lawyer in your past life. So we're going to go over to fec.gov. Legal resources. You are the man, sitting next to the man, sir. Court cases. Let's talk about this, y'all. This is good. Citizens United. Let's see what comes up. Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission. What? So you typically need a combination of education, experience, and a strong network. So that's what it sounds like, yes. So let's look at that. Okay, so while every state has its own specific definition of the term, a lobbyist is usually defined as someone who attempts to influence the government and government decisions on behalf of a person or organization. Sir, I knew that. So J.R. Bird does run a law firm, and I'm tickled because I didn't want to bring that up. That's why you're able to find all this stuff like super fast and everything. But I thought, here's the thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, entertainment law. I could be wrong. You probably know my friend Tanya Mitchell then. Tanya Mitchell Graham. I knew her before she was Graham. All right, so if you're a persuasive person with a passion for making a difference, a lobbying career might be right for you. Oh, is that corrupt, Auntie? Oh, while there are no specific educational requirements to become a lobbyist, you can benefit from having a strong background in the law or poli-sci, political science. Have a good night, Miss T. Take care. You'll also need to register with your local government to work as a lobbyist. From there, you can start looking for lobbyist careers. You got to be kidding me. So first of all, get the right training, poli-sci or related fields. And then, of course, build strong communication skills. That sounds like everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice. Pursue an advanced degree to get a competitive edge. How many people do you need? And it said you don't really need it. That's what it says here. Okay. And a law degree also gives you a competitive advantage in the lobbying field. Learn about basic legislative rules and procedures. Understanding how the legislative process works can help you become a much more effective lobbyist. Read up on current issues in your area of interest. It's that corrupt. Yes. Isn't this crazy? Spend time in a government job to gain experience. And the National Conference of State Legislatures, you can go ahead and register. Look into your state's lobbying registration laws. That's pretty much it, folks. Take a lobbying ethics course. Keep up with your lobbying reports, and then you can start finding jobs. There's a website called lobbyingjobs.com. Workforgood.org. And the PAC.org has a job website. Baby, we all in the wrong business. Every last one of us. We as thrown off as we currently are. What? Y'all know I'm going to. Thanks, JR. I appreciate you for this. We received this. So let's look at this. What happened on January 21st of 2010? The Supreme Court issued a ruling in Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission, overruling an earlier decision, Austin versus Michigan State Chamber of Commerce, that allowed prohibitions on independent expenditures by corporations. The court also overruled the part of McDonalds versus Federal Election Commission that held that corporations could be banned from making electioneering communications. The court also upheld the reporting and disclaimer requirements for the independent expenditures in electioneering communications. The court's rulings did not affect the ban on corporate contributions. Woo! They released a film, Citizens United did in 2008, about then Senator Hillary Clinton, who was a candidate in the Democratic Party's 2008 presidential primary elections. I think this is starting to get a little fuzzy, but I think I remember they plan to make a film available within 30 days of the 2008 primary elections, but feared that the film will be covered by the Act's ban on corporate-funded electioneering communications that are the functional equivalent of express advocacy. Ooh, okay, that's enough. I'll do a condensed version. I'll do a condensed version because this sucker is long. But basically what we've learned is that there are also lobbyists that are out there that are working on behalf of probably some of these PACs and these super PACs. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper, but it sounds like that's the case because PAC.org actually has this site where you could go and find lobbying jobs, where you can work for the lobbyists. I'm tired. This is exhausting. This is so exhausting, y'all. Hey, Cherie, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Mr. Don't Play. Hey, Black Beauty. See how deep this rabbit hole goes? And see, I'm way, way off because we were talking about the senators and now we're way over here. But this is good stuff. This is good information. So thank you, Kayshawn, Carol Sue, Miss T. Thank you, J.R. Bird. You know I'm trying to wrap it up right now, right? Y'all hear that? You hear that? I'm going to close. The pastor in me came out. I'm going to close. I'm not a pastor. I'm playing. So I'm going to close now. And you keep going, take your time, pastor. No, we're not doing that. We have to shut it down. I've been here since 9 o'clock. All right. So listen, a couple things. Beginning this weekend, we are opening up the doors to become a part of the neighborhood. Okay. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. It'll be in the morning, my regular time. And we'll come back and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the different tiers because you can become one of the people in the neighborhood, become a neighbor. It'll give you access to things, early access to things and events, and also exclusive podcasts, programming, and shows, as well as products that come from Brownstone Worldwide. So Savy, thank you. So Sable 321, thank you. So basically how this case has grown to where we are now, corporations are, quote, considered a person. Yes, that is true. With the same rights as a person. That's creepy as HE22 pics, trying not to cuss. What time I couldn't find you today? Because I was stuck at the shop with my car that's still there. She's leaking. Yeah, because I was trying to leave and come back, and then I figured out my car is overheating. I'm gonna slow down. I had to stop. And then when I finally got her there, I had to Uber back to the house. I was so mad with myself. Yeah, because I wanted to come back and go live and I couldn't do it. I was stuck. So I was like, I give up. I'm going to just come back tonight and we're just going to have our whole conversation. We're going to talk. But I'll be here tomorrow at 11:30. And JR, this is good information. I still got it up on my screen. But like I said, there are 4 different ways for you to become a part of the neighborhood. And I'll be sharing more about that with you all tomorrow. We talked about it yesterday. We got the front porch. We got we have the mat as well. You can become a part of that team. You can become a part of, hang on, I'm gonna pull it up. Because why not? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get some cool stuff. Let's see. And then you really will be able to say, welcome to the neighborhood. Okay. So 4 different tiers. The final one is called the Neighborhood Watch. That's when you get all the cool stuff. And the rate is super low. I don't even think it's $20 a month, something like that. But you get access to things that you're not able to get on social media talking to me on a regular basis. You'll get access to the block party, which is a live event. And that's a super nice thing that we're working on. We were trying to have one this year, but it's not looking like that's possible with everything that's going on. So we're going to wait until next year and kick that off. And so you'll get access to all kinds of cool stuff. I'm trying to pull it up before we wrap up because I'm not tired, but I do need to, because I try to be up at 5:30. Y'all know it is. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here it is. So now there are 4 tiers, briefly. These 4 tiers ultimately, now my system wants to act a fool, are giving you access. I'm going to just do it like this. Okay. So the Neighborhood Watch, we have the Porch Pass, We also have the Brownstone Inner Circle. And we have, here it is. Porch Pass, Welcome Mat Member, the Inner Circle, and the Neighborhood Watch. Those are the four tiers. And we're going to be sharing. I want to know if I wanted to go to the park. Yeah, you're going to want to come. Yep, there will be a fee. There will be a fee to come to the block party, but that's not until next year. We're working on that now. Of course, I want to start bragging on it now, and getting everything in order. And I will be keeping you guys posted on how it goes. Again, the Porch Pass is our free membership. That's going to give you access. You will still have to register because, like I always see, hey, Cherie Hoskins, I just saw you said, hey, sweetie, I didn't want to not ignore you. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Harry Oswald. So listen, you can keep the free access, but you'll still have to register so you can get access to things off of social media. I say it often. These are not my platforms. Okay. If anything ever happens, I still want to be able to keep up with everybody. Okay. The Welcome Mat Member is really cheap. It's $7 a month. Brownstone Inner Circle is $17. And then the Neighborhood Watch is $27. As you progress, you get all of the things that each one of them gets. It's just added onto it. Right. So I'll be sharing more information with you all about that. And you can still register. We're asking for you guys to do a survey when you register, because that's going to help me serve you better, our team to serve you better, right? And how we can all still help each other and still be members of the neighborhood of Brownstone Worldwide. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. But listen, 3 things that I always like to tell everybody before we get up out of here. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because you only get one you might as well enjoy it. I hope you all learned something tonight. I know I did. Thank you, J.R. Bird. Big shout out to you. If you want to check him out, go ahead and check out themetrorecord.com and also Black Hustle, BLKHustle.com as well. And as he said, he owns a law firm. So we're going to be getting him in front of the camera sometime soon, right? Shout out to Heather Asanyabi, Teresa Pelham, the entire team of the Brownstone, like Sheena and Rakaya, and all of the folks who keep their foot on my neck for excellence. You guys, lastly, breathe through every single moment. I'll see you tomorrow for the day shift. We'll see you around.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.